Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Ancient Bloodline of Light, and this is Giovanni, and I'm holding my selenite, connecting with angels and spirit. So, not too long ago, this is kind of like came to me, and I just thought I felt like I wanted to make this video tonight, instead of waiting until tomorrow or so. So I don't write scripts for my videos. I just go along with my heart and just say things. So I'm just gonna go along with this. So I'm connecting to spirit right now, and this is what I'm getting, and this goes along with the chaos that people are doing in America, and it also goes along with mental health, and that's also connected to a spiritual imbalance. And this is also going along with musicians, say like who you would call mumble rappers, which I don't listen to hip hop mainly because of these guys. Because that's just me. I just kind of feel like it's just a waste of time, and hip hop just kind of screws with the psyche of the youth. And I noticed that this kind of go off a little off subject, but yeah, about hip hop these days, I know it's like a lot of people are like listen to it more and more, and especially goths, and it's like they favor it more, it seems. And to me, I just feel like that's some kind of agenda that's like allowing this degenerate agenda that's going on with the entertainment industry that are screwed with the psyche of the youth. And as you can see, like a lot of people are like turning to Xanax or type of drugs and all this, and it's this also connects to the subject that I'm making this video for. So like I said, I'm gonna listen to spirit as I go along with this video, so I'm gonna be pausing. There is like identity crisis going on, and you can see that. You can see it with how people express themselves externally, not just internally. It's all manifesting through their actions, like tattoos, piercings, everything. I know I have tattoos, some piercings, but it had nothing to do with like identity crisis or spiritual imbalance. It's because I wanted to get these things because of my connection. Like this says Archangel Michael. When I started working with angels when I was like 20 years old, after I started like finding my anchor after a bad breakup from an abusive relationship, I started connecting with my spiritual side more. Things started to come to me and started making sense, and so I just started getting tattoos and whatnot to represent my path, and the serpent for wisdom, and changes the cycle of life from the old to new, shedding off the skin. So a lot of people, I don't want to come out judging, but this is what I'm getting from spirit, and this is actually obvious if you understand, like if you read people's auras and whatnot, even psychology. People are not really finding themselves. They're kind of losing themselves. They don't know who their identity is. And this also, you notice most people who also have BPD, aka borderline personality disorder, also goes along with this subject when it comes to identity and hair coloring, piercings, tattoos, and then they project their issues on others, aside from quiet borderlines. And no, I'm not judging, I'm not trying to put them down. I had made videos in the past about this, but I had deleted them. People are like losing themselves, and they're also projecting that anger towards those who are connecting with God. Not enough people are actually connecting with God. And I don't want to get political, but that's what I see with liberals. A lot of them are projecting their anger and insecurities because they're unbalancing their solar plexus chakra, with it comes from ego and self-empowerment. They're projecting that onto others who are not within their beliefs. So when somebody have a different opinion from theirs, they feel like they're being attacked, and then they project that anger onto others because they feel like they don't have a security. And you see a lot of artists who are depressed, and there's a lot of people who follow them who are addicted to Xanax or any of this stuff. A lot of their energy is coming up the same. Like, that's what I get from a lot of these people. A lot of them are lost and really trying to find their way, and they feel like just because they are conservatives who are on the right or embracing God, it makes them want to push God away. I'm not saying like conservatives are more better, more superior, and liberals are inferior. So, you know, I'm in between here. So this is what I'm getting. Aside from that, a lot of people are, they basically scapegoat a lot. They project what they're feeling like. They judge you based on who you are, and then they scapegoat because they think that you're doing that to them, but they're actually doing it they're doing it to you. So when they say, oh, this is gonna happen because this guy is in office, these people that they say is that they're gonna do it to, they're actually doing it to other people. So there's like a lot of hypocrisy. And like I said, I don't want to get off political, so I'm just gonna like jump from that. But this is just like also a good, take it as an example as well. And you see this right now, like people are, they're not really finding it the right way. They're not taking the right direction for themselves. There's no self-love here at all. There's a lot of lack of self-love, and then they're projecting that anger onto others. And it's a huge identity crisis. And you can see when people are saying like they identify as this gender or whatnot. Maybe there is a third gender. I do believe like Native Americans, they call it something else, like two-spirited. And you know, years ago I did acknowledge this, and then my perspective started to change, and then I started to say, okay, there's only two genders. And I know there's a difference between gender and sex, but I am accepting the fact that there actually is a third. And I just feel like people who go along these things, they're in that spirit world, but they're leaving God out of it. So they're in a chaos spiral. It's like a vortex that's pulling them in like a black hole, and they're just not finding their grasp. They can't find anything to grab onto. So it's chaotic. So this is a huge cry for help, and they just really need a huge guidance and love and acceptance for who they are. Both sides here needs to be listened to, and there need to be a balance, because there's light and dark here. There's obviously a duality. Nobody wanted that, but this is what's happening, a duality. And it is like a civil war in a way, but it's a spiritual war. Like, we're always in a spiritual war throughout our life. So this is a huge spiritual war that you see, and a lot of these lower vibrational entities are also an influence on these people, and why they're going nuts and attacking other people. And there's nothing wrong with connecting with God. You know, if any of you watching this, there's nothing wrong with that, because God is within. You have to find that divine within yourself and embrace it. You need to ask yourself, who are you really? Because you are not the flesh, you are the spirit. You are much more higher than what you perceive yourself to be. You are limitless. So there's nothing wrong with connecting to God at all. And it's none of my business, but you know, I would really love to see you become more better. And it's sad because a lot of people are lost, and it seems like people are more lost than ever, and there's so much insecurities. And you know, it's like a competition on social media, as it all was already known as from the get-go. It's like, So, okay, you see this person doing this and that, and then you see a lot of that in women who jump to like selling nudity and whatnot for money because people are worried about economy. But I believe that there's much more than that, more than the economy. It has to do more with feeling better about yourself. And when you connect with that divine feminine, it's not all about running all over men and destroying them. It's about just connect with yourself and embrace that. It's good to express yourself, but do it in a way where it's actually consciousness, not unconsciousness, where there's no morals within it. So you can express yourself and be free with your body, but allow there to be God with that God is within it. Not in a way for to feed on energy, to feed the narcissism. And there's just so much narcissism because of that lack of love. There's that void that you're trying to fill up. So you need to find that empowerment. You need to balance your solar plexus chakra. And if you want to do that, you can also like watch my first video, which is not too far down, so you can watch that on how to balance your solar plexus chakra. Anybody who would like to learn that, and you could also look into that anywhere. When you see someone with different hair color, to me back then it was all cool, Now I see actually from it. I'm actually understanding it from the third eye perspective that there's, someone is just not really grasping who they truly are. And the people who are actually connected with God, don't rub it in their face. Don't be condescending, because that is not coming from God. That's coming from your ego. And what you want to do is you want to help them. You want to help pull them up. And I feel like it's also our duty to also help, lead the way. You don't have to take that responsibility. We know that everyone has their own life and we're not responsible for other people, but by spreading that word of God, you can lead the way. You could be a good example and help them. And I feel like this is one of the things the best things we can do for one another is to find that balance with the masculine and feminine and our true identity, and help one another, because there's just so much chaos right now. We don't really need to be fighting each other, so we really need to come together as one and lead an example. And I used to be like that, when I was younger. Didn't really find myself, and I was just jumping into my spirituality also, when I was 19 or 20, and a lot of things just started to make sense over the past 2-3 years. So I know that other people will. A lot of things will change for them and get better. They definitely will. And that's what I wanted to bring up. People to find themselves, and you will. Just continue having faith, and having faith doesn't have to do with religion. It has to do with, it's in general belief. So it's not a religious thing. This is not about religion. This is about spirituality of no dogma and finding your anchor and who you are. So embracing God has nothing to do with religion. It's about finding that divine within yourself and embracing it. Be authentic, be yourself. You don't have to be like everyone else and be a follower, especially what these artists are trying to throw at you. You don't have to be a follower like they're trying to promote. You don't have to be a follower of that degenerate lifestyle. You need to better yourself and follow your heart and think for yourself. There's nothing wrong with critical thinking, because that's actually being helpful towards yourself. That is being true to yourself. You need to be a warrior for yourself. Take care of yourself.